Monica Miller with Looking for Group. Today I'm here with Elieser Duran, the Director of Esports at New York Institute of Technology. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking.
I'm glad you're doing okay. Hopefully we can make your day a little bit brighter with talking about esports. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to jump right into it. Can you tell me about how the program got started at NYIT?
Okay, so originally we started off as a club sport. No, we started off as a normal student-run club. It was originally the social gaming club at New York Tech. I went back. Okay, first, New York Tech and New York Institute of Technology are the same thing. They went through this crazy rebranding process because I think LIU down the street changed to our colors, so they were like, nah, and then they changed everything. So if you ever hear me say New York Tech or New York Institute of Technology, it's the same thing. So we were a social gaming club, and then at a certain point, we all thought we were really good at video games. And then we decided to start organizing, and we went to TESPA, and we played in our first real match, collegiate match, in Heroes of the Dorm when that was still running. So rip Heroes of the Dorm, rip Heroes of the Storm. Um, yeah, rest in pieces. And then but we played and then we instantly lost. We actually won our first match because of a forfeit, which was amazing because they didn't show up. So that was the greatest day of our lives. And then after from long, we started organizing, we started putting some teams together, and I approached the athletics department about 2 to 3 years ago at this point, and luckily at that time they were already looking for an esports to. They were like, we're a tech school. Why don't we have an esports program? And we had a new president come in who came in legitimately saying we're a tech school. Why don't we have an esports program? Um, so then we eventually got some funding for some like really basic computers that we built ourselves, and then after that point we're just still like doing matches from home a lot, and then eventually moved into our normal our new esports place in the library, which in retrospect wasn't the greatest idea, because it's the library and we can't be too loud and we can't do too much stuff. But eventually we'll be moving to another location. We were supposed to build up a new location this year, but COVID happened, so we can't do that anymore. um, so yeah, that's basically how we got started. And I just after a certain point, it was my senior year when we started the program, and I was on the first Heroes of the Storm team. So I realized that I wasn't the best at video games. I was just good at organizing.
Hmm.
So I just started organizing a lot. And after I graduated, I was kind of just helping the team for about like a full like 2 years after I graduated, until now to this point where I was hired as the director of esports, and I'm just kind of just organizing everything in the crazy COVID situation we're in right now. Because I would love to have the guys in the room and doing all our stuff that we normally do, but we can't do that now.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And congratulations on being assigned this director role after having this experience. And it takes a lot to realize, hey, maybe I'm not the best at the game, but I have these really great skills elsewhere. Are there opportunities right now for your students to do something like you did? So let's just say I'm not really into playing competitively as much. I like to play casually with some friends, but I want to get involved in the esports sphere at NYT. How do I do so? What are some things I can do?
I think it's just kind of just being active on our Discord. We have our Discord. We're trying to hit to 500 members so you can finally get verified. But we are. I'm always looking for new casters because I'm right now I'm doing kind of like the broadcasting and the organizing all by myself. So whenever someone new comes in and says, "Hey, I want to try to get my feet wet with casting," you could do that. And mostly anybody who usually wants to help with stuff, I'll usually be able to take them on as long as you're an NYT student. But we do have a couple opportunities. We've been partnered up with Anbox, and we have some opportunities where during the last homestand, we actually had some NYT students, some players actually volunteer on the the Anbox staff for the big homestand. So that we have a lot of big opportunities coming in. Mostly a lot of them are volunteer for now until we're able to get enough funding where we could start paying our students in terms of like a social media manager and stuff like that. But right now I'm kind of running most of it on my own, and other than that, I would have to get like approval for certain things since it is like a school account. But yeah, overall, I think we're offering quite a few opportunities, and I think it's only up from here in terms
Yeah.
of that.
Certainly sounds that way. And you mentioned Heroes of the Storm, R.I.P. I played that when it dropped a little. I remember Heroes of the Dorm as well. I was, I think, sophomore when that was going on. But anyways, what kinds of titles are you playing now?
Do you want me to let you know all the games that we're currently playing
Just,
in
yeah, roll them out.
okay. Okay, so right now we're doing we scroll up all the way on the Discord. We're doing Overwatch. We have two Overwatch teams. You have a League of Legends team, Rainbow Six Siege, Super Smash Brothers. We're trying to do something with the fighting game community, but it would normally be we would send players to locals, but obviously we can't do that. So fighting game community. After that, we have Fortnite, Rocket League, Valorant, Call of Duty when the new Call of Duty comes out because they really didn't like the last Call of Duty, and then Hearthstone. We're always looking to add more games. Every year I do add more games to the roster of games. But it's mostly whoever can play. And due to like kind of making sure that my players don't burn themselves out, you can only be on two teams if you have the sufficient GPA to stay on that team. So I would love to add like an Apex team or any other competitive game, but those are the ones we have right now.
Excellent. And you touched on something I'm actually really curious about. Can you tell me about the expectations as a director, as a coach of your student body? What are the hourly commitments that you're looking for? What is the, I guess, dynamic of time management you're seeking within your student body when it comes to playing esports?
Right now we are holding our esports players to the same standards we're holding our traditional sports athletes. Actually, we're actually holding them up to a higher GPA standard than that. We are to stay on two teams, you have to have at least a 3.0 GPA, and to be on any team, you have to have at least a 2.5 GPA. And I usually check those in the beginning of the semester to make sure that you're a full-time student and everything. Um, but yeah, those are the expectations we have. In terms of time management, unfortunately, I can't do much because I am at my house and everybody's at their house, so I can't really manage how much you're playing. But obviously, if you're coming late to matches and you're not showing up to scrims on time, then there are issues there.
Right.
Uh, we also working with there's an esports medicine team on our staff, which is run by the NICOM, which is on the same Old West Long Island campus for New York Tech, and they're doing some research on just kind of a better way to maybe train our players and make sure that they're not burning themselves out with either posture or any other like wrist activity. So that's something we've been working on too to kind of help our players a little bit more.
Excellent. Yeah, I always love to hear when there's a focus on some kind of physical element because, sitting for long periods of time is not particularly healthy unless you get up and, pump some blood into the legs that are sitting
Yeah.
there. But are there any other physical requirements? Do you have like gym days or anything like that? Or is it just strictly like, wrist, eyes, and that sort of thing?
For right now, it's just wrist or eyes. See, for like New York Tech, we're a really interesting campus because we have two campuses. There's one in New York City and there's one in Long Island. It's not like we're like a Delaware university where everybody's in the same
Mm-hmm.
location. It's not like you have like very, very separate. It's not like you have to take like the train to another part of Delaware to go to the other Delaware campus. So uh it's kind of hard to do that kind of thing. We don't have those yet. I would love to have gym days for my players, but the like to be realistic, we can't really do that as easily because it'd be taking we have players on both teams. We
Mm.
have players on both campuses. So there are some people who only stay in Manhattan, and there are some people who only stay in Old Westbury. So it's I would love to I would love to actually do that, but no, we don't have that right now.
That's all right. It's you guys are stepping in the right direction by offering something, anyways. It's like lots of programs out there haven't really thought about that yet, so you do have the upper hand there. So don't worry. Um, so with campuses being split in two, can you tell me a little bit about the facility dynamic? And I know with COVID and the pandemic, it might be a little different than what it was maybe 6 months to a year ago. But are students primarily right now playing at home, or do you have a space that they can play on either of the campuses you mentioned?
Everybody's playing at home right now. We would normally be playing at the library at Whistler Library. Um, but due to COVID restrictions, we'd only be able to get like realistically two people in that room, um, including me.
Oh,
So like one person in the room.
yeah.
So we've kind of just defaulted to like everybody just play from home, which is either okay for some people or even better for some people. But we have like Alienwares with like 240 hertz screens over there, so it's like it's
Mm,
a big downgrade for a lot of people going to like their home laptop, which they only use for schoolwork,
right.
to like playing like on a 240 hertz monitor. So right now everybody's playing from home.
Yeah, fingers crossed that things open up soon so that
Yeah.
students can begin using that very expensive equipment. Alienware is very nice one. But one last question I have for you for the students who are maybe listening to this interview thinking about applying to NYT's program or just generally applying to a collegiate esports program out there, what kind of advice from a director or coach role would you give these students as they navigate the selection process?
I would just kind of just see how well things are organized. I can tell you for a fact that no, unless you're legitimately offering scholarships, every school is kind of like a chance game where you could have like a challenger level player at your school who might or might not be interested in collegiate. It's kind of just making sure that the school has good, like making sure that your school as an institution supports your esports department and it's not like just like a normal collegiate, like a student run thing. Because if you have that help from your school itself, then they'll actually be able to invest more into your program, which then could help everything out, which is the reason why we've been able to get so far at New York Tech, because we have great support from our president and from uh, what used to be our athletics department, which doesn't exist anymore because of COVID. Esports is now the only sport at New York Tech, unfortunately. But but yeah, I think just kind of just seeing how much it's supported by the school in general. Do they care? Do they actually mention them? Does the school get hyped when your esports team get hyped? Because I know a lot of schools they're like top level teams in TESPA, and then the school doesn't even like pretends they don't exist. Like everything is student run. Like what happens if the players leave, kind of deal. So I think it's just seeing how much it's supported, how well it's organized, making sure that they have a community that's actually accepting of the new people coming in, and then after that, you kind of just play it by ear and then make friends as you go along.
I think that's really solid advice. It's super important to vet the program because there's so many blossoming up over the United States here, and some of them are more organized than others. So it's definitely important there. But is there anything about NYT's program that you'd like to mention that maybe we didn't get to touch on yet?
I think I think I mentioned a lot of big ones. The big partnership with Ambox, we're looking to we're hiring someone for we've already hired someone for kind of like the business end of the program, because I was kind of running a lot of it by myself, and navigating the business side of collegiate, especially esports collegiate,
Mm-hmm.
is a really tricky thing that should be done by more seasoned veterans in the field. So hopefully we'll be able to actually start really getting some bigger scholarship opportunities and sponsorships for the team, and really get ourselves ahead of all the other schools in the area. The Nbox thing is big. We're doing really big stuff with like I said, our esports medicine. I think our school is one of the only schools that's actually submitting papers and research papers on that. So that's going to be an opportunity if you're like more of a medical student who wants to get more into esports, the esports part of medicine. There's opportunities there. And after that is we have a Discord and Twitter and stuff, and just like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
And at 3 a.m., everybody posts the 3 a.m. meme from SpongeBob. So that if you're up at 3 a.m., it's entertaining to see like
Sp-
five of those posts all have. It's nice to know every single day that the world is still turning because the 3 a.m. posts have come in. So
that's when you know. Like
that's when you
I'm
know.
comforted by the SpongeBob memes at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today and talking more to NYT's program.
Yeah, thank you.